Hello and welcome to another video where I show you everything you need to know about the Bardic Audio Devices HM-Demon. Well, demon stuff. The HM-Demon comes in this standard black metal housing, but it has some additional artwork that's really fitting the name. The demon is even smiling because he has a good time here. And we have 6 knobs and 3 mini switches. The knobs are labeled gain, distort, clean. And we have low, mid, high. And the switches we have a low frag, mid frag and a post pre. And guys, I have no idea what most of those knobs do. So let's find out. Here we have our typical HM2 curve, and now let's activate the HM-Demon. Okay, just a low cut, nothing happening here. So let's see what gain does. Gain does basically nothing. So this could actually be the distortion knob. We'll distort, zeros the signal. So this might be a level control. And a clean, well, it could be a clean blend. That's why I've set it fully counterclockwise, but it's boosting the signal quite a bit. So this might be another level control. Well, not sure, we have to find out in the actual audio comparison. But I know my 3-band EQs. So low, come on, give me that 95 Hertz. Okay, you are giving me 140 Hertz, that's okay. Mid, it's either here or here doing something. Okay, it's here, it's 540 Hertz region. So let's nullify it. Now we have a mid gap, way too high by the way. And now give me the chainsaw peak. There we go. The Q is much more smaller than on the original HM2 and it's centered around 140, 1.4K. Okay, so post pre, I just can assume that this is kind of like on the KMA Logan. It sets some control knobs pre-gain or post-gain. Well, let's find out. Here's nothing changing. Maybe, oh well, gain is on noon, so there should be something happening. So mid frag, this should, well, since this is mid, it should shift it. Ah, okay, better. Now we're talking, we are 250, 260, and here we are at 220, so it's still a bit higher, but way closer than before. So low frag, what do? You're kind of shifting the frequency and also reducing it a bit. We're now at 83. Okay. Now doing something? Nope. So it's, when you have a look in general, it looks like the HM2 curve, but it has quite some differences, but that's totally okay, because all that matters is the actual sound, and that's what we're hearing now. A quick live review part for this pedal because I want to explore more of the options and I wasn't really satisfied with how the actual audio comparison turned out. I think there is more to explore, and therefore I have a very basic signal chain, just my guitar into the pedal, into the XFX, and in the XFX I chose the PV 5150 block lateral emulation and two of Jens Bogren's IRs. Those are the Yellow Proc 2 and the Fart Me Down. I've dialed in the PV pretty drastic actually. Lots of depth, lots of presence, lots of mids, everything else on stock, and basically this is my sound. I think I've also included a boost. Have I? Yes, I've included a boost. So this is a real, all in all, it's a really mix-ready death metal sound, but let's try out if the HM-Demon can add anything to it. I've pre-dialed it a bit because it's very hard to, well, it's not hard, but you have to understand what the actual knobs do. So therefore, well, I just give you truth. So this high knob is for the chainsaw. Without it, there is no chainsaw. The mid, if you really crank the mid, it kind of gets rid of the chainsaw sound, but it's still there. I find it to be better when dialed back. And with the mini switch on the right, I think it's more chunky. And the lows, there are some huge amounts of lows, so I tend to not crank it. I like to keep it here on noon, because there still has some balls, but not too much to sound boomy. The mini switch makes no difference in this particular setting, but I like to keep it here. I think this is the tighter setting. So, and now the upper row, the distortion level is the volume control. You need to always have to keep it up full. Gain is your actual gain control, so the drive control, and you could crank it to around 9 o'clock as you could on the original HM2. I think then it sounds really harsh, and I like to keep it at absolutely 0, and that's also the setting that Bardic Audio Devices suggested for me to try out. And the clean knob actually adds clean signal. I like to add a bit of clean signal, and now I also know what the post-pre switch does. It activates the EQ on the clean blend, or it deactivates it to let the raw signal comes through. And I think I've activated it. That's at least my intention. So here is the sound. Well, at first I didn't really like this pedal. I thought it was way off and it wasn't close at all, but I got the intention of this pedal totally wrong. This pedal isn't meant to be a clone of the HM2. It's, well, basically if it's an HM2 from another dimension, if you want. And this job, it does actually pretty good. Although I have to admit I prefer the HM2 from this dimension, but I see where this pedal would be really useful, and this would be in a black metal context. I really think this pedal is made for black metal, not so much for death metal, because I think it's a bit has some very harsh frequencies that I don't find really pleasant for the ears. Well, but I'm a death metal guy, obviously. So the control layout is cool. It's kind of weird that the level is labeled distort, and the blend is special. Well, at first it wasn't clear to me how it actually works, but I think for the pedal it wants to be HM2 from another dimension. It does the job really cool. So yeah. What do you think about the HM-Demon? Do you own one? What are your favorite settings? Let me know down in the comment section. And as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. May the force be with you and have a nice day.